The art of letting go to find inner peace. Introduction. In the hustle and bustle of modern life, we often find ourselves clinging to things that no longer serve us, past regrets, painful relationships, material possessions, and even self-doubt. This attachment only leads to suffering, preventing us from experiencing true peace and happiness. But what if we could let go? What if we could free ourselves from the weight of the past and embrace the present moment fully? This article explores the profound wisdom of Buddhist philosophy regarding the art of letting go, how it leads to inner peace, and practical steps to incorporate this practice into your daily life. Chapter 1: Understanding the Nature of Attachment. One of the fundamental teachings of Buddhism is that attachment is the root cause of suffering. The Buddha taught that everything in life is impermanent, and our resistance to this natural flow creates distress. When we hold on to things, expecting them to remain unchanged, we set ourselves up for disappointment and pain. The illusion of permanence. We often believe that certain relationships, achievements, or possessions will last forever. But everything is in a constant state of flux, people change, situations evolve, and material things deteriorate. Accepting impermanence is the first step toward freedom. Why do we cling to permanence? Humans are wired for stability and security. Our minds seek comfort in predictability because it provides a sense of control. From an evolutionary standpoint, stability ensured survival. However, in an ever-changing world, clinging to the illusion of permanence can create suffering when reality does not meet our expectations. The emotional impact of impermanence. When we refuse to accept change, we often experience fear, anxiety, and sadness. For example, when a loved one leaves or passes away, we feel devastated because we believe they would always be there. This emotional pain is not necessarily caused by the loss itself but by our attachment to the idea that things should remain the same. The cost of holding on. Clinging to the past, whether it's a painful memory, a lost love, or an outdated self-image, keeps us trapped in a cycle of suffering. The more we try to control what is beyond our grasp, the more we experience anxiety, frustration, and sadness. Emotional baggage and its consequences. Holding on to past grievances, disappointments, or regrets can weigh heavily on our mental and emotional well-being. This baggage manifests as stress and anxiety, depression and lack of motivation, difficulty in forming new relationships, resentment and bitterness, the fear of letting go. Many people resist letting go because of fear of the unknown, fear of loneliness, or fear of losing a sense of identity. We associate certain attachments with who we are, making it challenging to detach. However, this fear is merely an illusion created by the mind. The impact on relationships. In relationships, attachment often manifests as possessiveness, jealousy, or unrealistic expectations. When we expect others to behave in a way that aligns with our desires, we set ourselves up for disappointment. True love is about acceptance, not control. Letting go as an act of liberation. Releasing attachment does not mean we stop caring or valuing our experiences. Instead, it allows us to engage with life more fully, without being burdened by unrealistic expectations. When we let go, we create space for growth, new opportunities, and emotional freedom. Key lessons from Buddhism on attachment. 1. Nothing is permanent, everything is in a state of constant change, including ourselves. 2. Suffering comes from clinging, the more we resist change, the more we suffer. 3. Acceptance brings peace, embracing impermanence leads to true inner peace. Chapter 2: The Power of Letting Go. Letting go is not about giving up, it's about releasing what no longer serves our growth. It's an act of courage and self-love that allows us to create space for new opportunities, healing, and genuine happiness. The freedom of detachment. Detachment doesn't mean we stop caring or loving, it means we love without expectations, accept without resistance, and embrace change without fear. When we detach, we allow life to unfold naturally instead of forcing outcomes. Emotional independence. True detachment allows us to experience life with openness and presence. When we no longer tie our happiness to external circumstances, we cultivate an inner sense of stability that is unshaken by life's ups and downs. The difference between detachment and indifference. Some people confuse detachment with indifference. However, detachment is about engaging with life without being emotionally enslaved by it. Indifference, on the other hand, is a lack of care or concern. True detachment allows us to love and experience deeply while remaining free from unnecessary suffering. How letting go leads to inner peace. When we release our grip on things we can't control, we find peace. No longer burdened by the weight of the past, we can fully immerse ourselves in the present moment, appreciating life as it is rather than how we wish it to be. Letting go of expectations. One of the main sources of suffering is unmet expectations. We expect people to behave a certain way, relationships to last forever, or success to come effortlessly. When reality doesn't align with our expectations, we suffer. Learning to let go of rigid expectations helps us find peace and flexibility in life. Surrendering to the flow of life. Many spiritual traditions emphasize the power of surrender, trusting that life will unfold as it is meant to. Surrendering doesn't mean we stop making efforts, it means we stop resisting what is beyond our control. This surrender leads to profound inner peace. The beauty of present moment awareness. Letting go allows us to appreciate the present moment fully. When we are no longer burdened by past regrets or future anxieties, we can experience life as it is rich, beautiful, and full of possibilities. Signs you are mastering the art of letting go. You no longer dwell on past regrets. You feel a sense of inner peace even when things don't go as planned. You have stopped trying to control others. You embrace change rather than fear it. You focus on the present rather than worrying about the future. By mastering the art of letting go, we open ourselves to a life of freedom, peace, and unshakable joy. Chapter 3: Practical Steps to Let Go. Letting go is a journey, not a one-time event. Here are some practical steps to cultivate the art of letting go. 1. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness helps us observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment. By staying present, we learn to accept life as it is rather than getting lost in regrets or worries. 2. Acknowledge and accept your emotions. Before we can let go, we must first acknowledge our feelings. Suppressing emotions only strengthens their grip. Instead, allow yourself to feel, process, and then release. 3. Reframe your perspective. Instead of seeing change as a loss, view it as an opportunity for growth. Every ending leads to a new beginning. Shifting your mindset can make the process of letting go much easier. 4. Release the need for control. Much of our suffering comes from trying to control everything. Accept that some things are beyond your control and trust the natural flow of life. 5. Cultivate gratitude. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have. When we appreciate the present moment, we naturally let go of unnecessary attachments. By embracing these practices, we step into a life of greater peace, joy, and emotional freedom. Chapter 4: Real-life examples of letting go. Letting go is not merely a theoretical concept, it is a practice that has transformed lives throughout history. In this chapter, we will explore real-life examples of individuals who have embraced the power of letting go, demonstrating how this philosophy can lead to profound inner peace and fulfillment. The Buddha and the Parable of the Raft. One of the most well-known teachings of the Buddha is the parable of the raft. He tells the story of a man who needed to cross a river. He built a raft and used it to reach the other side. However, instead of leaving the raft behind, he carried it on his back, thinking it might be useful later. The Buddha explained that many people behave in the same way, holding on to beliefs, experiences, and attachments that have already served their purpose. True wisdom lies in knowing when to let go. Nelson Mandela, letting go of resentment. Nelson Mandela, after spending 27 years in prison, had every reason to hold on to anger and resentment. Yet, upon his release, he chose forgiveness over vengeance. He understood that clinging to hatred would only continue to imprison him emotionally. By letting go of resentment, he was able to lead South Africa toward peace and reconciliation, showing the world that true strength comes from forgiveness. Eckhart Tolle, surrendering to the present moment. Eckhart Tolle, the author of The Power of Now, describes how he lived in a state of deep depression and anxiety until he had an awakening moment. He realized that much of his suffering came from identifying with his thoughts and fears about the past and future. By surrendering to the present moment, he freed himself from unnecessary suffering. His teachings continue to help millions embrace mindfulness and let go of mental burdens. A personal story: overcoming grief. Many people experience the pain of losing a loved one. One example is a woman who lost her husband unexpectedly. For years, she held on to her grief, unable to move forward. Through meditation and spiritual practice, she learned to honor his memory while also embracing life again. Letting go did not mean forgetting, it meant allowing herself to heal and find joy once more. Minimalism, letting go of material possessions. Minimalism has become a modern-day movement that emphasizes the importance of letting go of excess possessions. Many who have adopted this lifestyle report experiencing a greater sense of freedom and clarity. By detaching from material things, they focus on what truly matters: relationships, experiences, and personal growth. The Japanese philosophy of wabi-sabi. Wabi-sabi is a Japanese aesthetic and worldview that embraces imperfection and impermanence. It teaches that beauty is found in things that are incomplete, aged, and transient. This philosophy encourages people to let go of the pursuit of perfection and instead appreciate life as it is. Athletes and the art of letting go. Many successful athletes understand the power of letting go, whether it's a lost game, a bad performance, or a setback in their career. Tennis legend Roger Federer, for example, has spoken about how crucial it is to move on from mistakes and focus on the present moment. Letting go of past failures allows athletes to perform at their best. Letting go of toxic relationships. One of the hardest things people struggle with is letting go of relationships that no longer serve them. Whether it is a friendship, a romantic relationship, or even a family connection, holding on to toxic relationships can drain energy and well-being. Recognizing when a relationship is harming rather than helping and having the courage to walk away is a powerful act of self-care. The power of surrender in spiritual traditions. Many spiritual traditions emphasize surrendering as a path to peace. In Christianity, surrendering to God's will is seen as a way to find guidance and relief from suffering. In Taoism, going with the natural flow of life, Wu Wei, is a principle that encourages effortless action rather than resistance. The role of letting go in healing. Therapists often encourage clients to let go of past trauma through acceptance and self-compassion. Many psychological practices, including cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT, focus on helping individuals release painful thoughts and emotions rather than being controlled by them. Underscore 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 underscore. These real-life examples illustrate that letting go is not about loss, but about gaining freedom. Whether it is releasing past trauma, material possessions, expectations, or toxic emotions, the practice of letting go allows us to live a more peaceful and meaningful life. By embracing the art of letting go, we step into a life of greater joy, clarity, and inner peace. Final thoughts. The journey of letting go is an ongoing practice, but every step brings us closer to true peace. By releasing our attachments, embracing impermanence, and surrendering to the present moment, we open the door to a life of greater joy and fulfillment. Are you ready to let go and step into your highest self?